Today, I want to try something a little bit different than some of my other skills videos. I want to talk about line choice.
So this topic was a suggestion from one of my awesome Patreon supporters. It came up during one of our live monthly hangouts. Now, line choice is a bit of a subjective matter. It's more of a theory and less of an actual science. There is no right or wrong answer to line choice except if you're going off the trail or, maybe taking the left line. But in all seriousness, you're usually trying to take the line that's either faster or suits your skills better. You're also trying to minimize how much turning you're doing, so the line that's straighter is usually better. As for turns, the one with a more gradual turn is usually better. However, there are circumstances where you want to take a turn that's a little bit sharper, but it really depends on the situation. In this section, you have two lines. You have the inside line, which is the main line. This one's easier to get into, but at the very end, you have a tighter turn, which will require you to slow down and lose a little bit of speed. But on the other hand, this outside line is much more difficult to get into. You have a bunch of off-camber roots and mud to deal with. However, the turn is much more gradual, so you can carry a lot more speed out of the turn.
Slow down. Woo-hoo. This time I'm going to hit the outside line and show you what that looks like. Woo. Now that I've ridden it a few times, you can see the two lines a little bit better. This is the safer line, which is a sharper turn, easier entrance, slower exit speed. This is the riskier line, harder to get into, more challenging, and you have to be a little bit more careful coming into it. And if you nail it, well, the payoff's there. So here we have another section that is rather difficult with two line choices. Both of them are actually really hard, and it's hard to figure out which one's better. So you have one of them where you have a lot of rocks here that you need to get over. And once you get over the rocks, you get into some roots and stumps, which makes it difficult. You also have to watch out for this rock that you're going to clip your handlebars on. Ideally, you'd be right here, but the rock's very close. Now, this line over here, it looks like it'd be easier. However, once you get to right here, you have to do this weird maneuver to get up and around this rock and around that set of rhododendrons.
As a general rule of thumb, it's easier to go over rough terrain without turning and turn without going over rough terrain. The line hugging the rock, even though it is rougher, it is straighter, which makes it a little bit easier. The line going around the rhododendron requires turning and is still a little bit rough, and since you have to focus on two movements, that makes this line a little bit more difficult.
This rock, you're gonna have to kind of power through this. There you go. Okay, this time I'm gonna go to the left of that rock. And right here is a little hard.
One thing to take note of in this section is I actually had to time my pedal strokes. Look at how I had to time my drive side pedal to go up and over that rock so it wouldn't clip it. That plus the turning is why this line is more complicated.
Blast over these rocks. Blast over these rocks. This time we're gonna hit the line that's close to the rock. We're gonna have to kind of power through this. There you go. Okay, this time I'm gonna go to the left of that rock. And right here is a little hard movement, but both of them work. Neither of them are super easy.
So in this section we have three different lines, but really only two are viable. The first line is on the rider's right. This requires a little bit more turning, but you can generate some speed by pumping the compression. Now in the middle you have a straighter line. However, in that line you actually have a root that you have to watch out for, because if you hit it, well, you're gonna crash. While this line is straighter, you're not generating speed from pumping. So which line is faster? Well, that's up for debate. I usually take the line that jumps over the root, but sometimes when I'm tired, I'll take the other line because it requires a little bit less effort.
Here. Come down here, pump this one, and hop. Whoop. All right. Hop.
This last section we're going to look at is a S-turn. So there's two turns and there's two lines in each turn. Each turn has an inside line and an outside line. If this was a perfectly flat piece of terrain, you'd want a straight line each turn. However, given the terrain such as the roots and the rocks, This is a situation where straight lining it may not be ideal. So taking both outside lines is a little bit longer, but it's definitely a safer route. Hopping over the log is a little bit more complicated, but helps you carry more speed into the second turn. If you really want, you can straight line both turns. However, the second turn has a bunch of off-camber routes on the inside. So while it does make this section faster, you're not carrying as much speed out of the second turn, so in this situation, it may actually be faster in the long run to take the outside line and carry more speed into the next section.
Main line. Rail the turn. Up and over into the main line. So up. Drop in, up, log. Go, let go. Alright, we're gonna do the main line. Catch this right. Then rail this outside. Hop, woohoo! Up here. Hop. Back into the main line. Alright, this time we're gonna go up and over the log and over the roots, so the inside line. It's gonna be tricky because it's a bit wet, slippery out. So here, get light. So I hope you guys like this episode. If I missed anything, let me know what I missed in the comments below. As always, my name is Phil Metz. Thanks for playing bikes with me today, and I'll see you guys next time.